Drake has finally reacted to the disses from Future, Metro Boomin, and Kendrick Lamar, but we're now also seeing more rappers get into the mix, as several new rappers have just unfollowed Drake on Instagram, as they are all siding now with Future, Metro, and Kendrick. As a tweet goes and states, Rick Ross and Nav have unfollowed Drake on Instagram after Metro Boomin and Future dissed Drake, leaving Drake making his first reaction of many. Drake would respond to Nav by saying, "I ain't picking up, I'm in Turk's lil' baby." Now this is a clear sneak diss towards Nav's unfollow on Instagram, as those are actually Nav's lyrics in one of his songs. However, Drake's responses to the disses is only getting started, but to understand everything, you first need to know where it all began, as Metro Boomin and Future dropped a collab album titled We Don't Trust You. It had a very unexpected diss track towards Drake on the song titled Like That, with even having a surprise feature from Kendrick Lamar on the song. But right before the song's release, however, Joe Budden knew something was brewing up between Drake and Future, as he would go on to share this during a podcast.
And back to my Future, Metro Boomin, Drake tension. You don't think it's weird that nothing ever happened with that hit smash song that Future and Drake made with Tim's?
What do you mean? Nothing
Wait
happened?
for you.
It was a hit.
When you say,
it was a hit.
When you say what?
I know it was a hit. It was a smash.
So what you mean? Nothing happened with it.
Never heard it again.
This is why it came to no surprise to Joe when the song Like That dropped. However, Future didn't come in alone. He brought Kendrick Lamar on, which none of us expected, as on the song he would begin his verse by saying, and I quote, "You think I won't drop the location, I still got it. F the big three, it's just big me. I'm really like that, and your best work is a light pack." Now this is a clear direct message to Drake and J. Cole, as the big three Kendrick is referring to is himself, J. Cole, and Drake. In the early 2010s, the big three in hip-hop was Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick, as many hip-hop blogs would refer to them as such. There was really no one else at that time that was even close to their level, but now we have Kendrick telling Drake and J. Cole the big three is no longer, and that he is the only big one left, as there was rumors and speculations that Kendrick was jealous that he was not asked by J. Cole and Drake to be on their song First Person S, as Kendrick would then get straight to the point about not being asked to be on that song with them, where he would rap the lyrics, "F sneak dissin', first person, I hope they come in with 3 switches," referencing the big three once again, but also discussing Drake and J. Cole's hit track titled First Person S, as further explained here.
One of the biggest being the line, "Sneak dissin', first person I hope they came with 3 switches." So what exactly did Drake and Cole say about Kendrick that was a sneak diss? On First Person, J. Cole has a bar where he says, "Everybody steppers, well F it, then everybody breakfast, and I'm about to clear up my plate." Steppers here is obviously a reference to Kendrick's most recent album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and clearing my plate likely means winning the competition for best rapper over Kendrick. And Drake in his first verse asked the question who the GOAT rapper is, and he uses a clever double entendre to say that only him and J. Cole are in the GOAT conversation, meaning Kendrick is not. J. Cole also probably has the most notable line in First Person, where he says, "Love when they argue the hardest MC, is it K. Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We the big three like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali." As
Kendrick Lamar would then go on to end his verse taking one last sneak diss towards Drake's newest album titled For All the Dogs. Once again, another rumor that Kendrick was salty about not being asked to have a feature on this album, as Kendrick Lamar would rap the lyrics, "For all your dogs getting put to rest, that's a K with all these 9s, he's gonna see a pet cemetery." Having to be careful with my words, you should still get the point. Kendrick is referring to the For All the Dogs album about getting put to rest with the latest release of Future and Metro Boomin's album, and that album is technically going to be getting put to rest in a pet cemetery. He then mentions K with all of these 9s, referring to a dog being a canine, as this is a very clear and obvious diss towards Drake. But right when the album was released and the song was going viral on social media, someone captured a photo with Drake no longer than 20 minutes after the album's release. In the photo, it's very clear that Drake has his headphones on listening to the song, and he has a very sour look on his face, making many believe that he's obviously listening to the diss track. This isn't even the craziest part, as the beef actually continues outside of the song Like That, and it goes into the intro track of the album. As in the song We Don't Trust You, Future raps the lyrics, "You're a #1 fan dog, sneak dissin' I don't understand dog, pillow talking acting like a fed dog, I don't need another fake friend dog," as Future is referencing the word dog at the end of every single line that he has. Very similar to Kendrick's verse with the dog reference, is leaving many fans to believe that it is also connected to Drake's album titled For All the Dogs, which is also another album that Future was also left off, leaving Joe Budden believing that they already had a secret beef going on, as there is no reason that Drake wouldn't want Future on his album. But it wasn't until this one tweet would go viral online, which turned everything into crazy mode. It goes and states, "Y'all didn't catch the disses at Drake because y'all were too worried about Kendrick." Here's another diss at Drake from Metro and Future, which seems to reference 21 Savage, saying Future is bigger than Drake, and that no one listens to him in the streets. Also, before the diss on the outro, Future switches up his flow with no auto-tune, basically saying that I can get up here and do what you do and really rap. I can't play the outro of the song due to copyright, but it's an audio track from a movie where the main character is telling someone that no one is listening to this type of music in the hood, which is exactly what Drake's newest best friend, 21 Savage, said during an interview.
Niggas don't be listening to Drake like that. Well, if I wasn't a rapper, I don't feel like I still would listen to Drake for real. It's just I'm a rapper, so I understand the work he put in now, how hard he go. Wait, like when you ain't no rapper, all them statistics don't mean shit. A regular street don't give a about how many times you went #1, like how many white people listen to you. They don't even think that the farthest they think is the club. Who's selling this club out? That's who they think is the biggest. Like in Atlanta, it's a lot of who you really can't tell them Future ain't bigger than Drake.
I always say it's cap, but really?
Oh God, I used to think that. Drake ain't really no big me.
Which could in the end have Drake feeling some type of way against 21 Savage now. But to understand all of the disses even further, we first need to learn the beginning of the beef between Drake and Kendrick, because this is gonna surprise you. At first, it was all love between the two. Kendrick dropped his iconic verse on his 2013 track titled Control. He name-checked multiple other artists in the game, including Drake, where he would rap the lyrics, "I got love for you and all, but I'm trying to ruin you." Now, while Kendrick meant the lyrics jokingly, Drake did get annoyed by his name being added in, as Drake responded in an interview with Billboard by sharing, and I quote, "It just sounded like an ambitious thought to me. I thought it was all it was. I know good and well that Kendrick is not touching me at all in any platform." He even added into his song titled Language these lyrics, "I don't know why they're lying, but your stuff ain't that inspiring." Kendrick Lamar would end up responding to that diss at his BET award with this freestyle, and I quote, "Yeah, and nothing's been the same since they dropped Control. And I tucked a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes." Then when Kendrick was asked about the beef, he would assure his fans that he meant nothing bad about the verse in this interview.
The fact that hip-hop hasn't been shaken up in a long time. You know, when I went in and did the verse, I thought I was just having fun. and you know.
As Kendrick Lamar would also speak out to say that it was all love at that time.
Where are you at with a lot of the cats now, like the J. Cole's of the world or the Drakes of the world? Where are you guys at now?
Same place. It's all love from the moment I did the verse to after the verse. Personally, I respect these dudes as, you know, as people, you know what I mean? So outside of that, it's really nothing. I respect their music, for sure. I respect them as individuals and creators.
To which Drake would then speak on the situation later in 2014, where he would say, and I quote, "I never once said that Kendrick is a bad guy or that I don't like him. I think that he's a genius in his own right, but I also stood my ground as I should. And with that would come another step, in which I would have to realize that I'm being baited and I'm not gonna fall." Kendrick would then pop out to say that it was a reach by everyone to suggest that there was anything more than just a friendly feud.
That's people digging in. That's people digging in way too far. But I mean, people pick at things all day, every day. You know, I can't get mad at it, but they reach it. We come from two different worlds, two different backgrounds. I really don't see that playing out, you know, as entertaining. Maybe to, you know, the people listening, you know, but not for myself.
Then in 2019, Drake would show respect to Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole in this interview.
I have a lot of respect for, you know, the other two guys that I'm constantly, you know, up against, which is like Cole and Kendrick.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for those guys because they also continue to, you know, stay true to what we started with, and finding new ways to do it. I think for all three of us, it is the time to see who can transcend the generations, much like Jay did.
As with J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake being arguably the top 3 lyricists in the game at that time, being now labeled as the Big 3, J. Cole even jumped in to share his respect for the other 2.
I'm more interested in the relationship because I also see a time when I'm not doing it. That seems very realistic. I would, I don't want to be like, damn, we never kicked it. You know what I mean? Like, it was always respecting because even at its most competitive, you're not going to be competitive with somebody you don't respect. I think now it's just more of a wisdom thing where it's like, yo, you can never have it all. 100% of people are never going to say J. Cole is the best rapper breathing. You won't get 90%. You won't get 90% to say Drake. You won't get 90% to say Kendrick. It's just never going to happen.